Welcome to the Fitness Plus Technology Podcast for club owners, operators, and fitness professionals. Each week, host Brian O'Rourke brings you an expert interview with a global influencer at the crossroads of fitness and technology. You gain the insights, tools, and inspiration you need to stay connected to the pulse for what matters most for your business in the age of exponential technologies.
Brian O'Rourke here, and you may hear a little background noise because we're on an IC train, ICE that is, going from Cologne back to Frankfurt. And we just had the opportunity of being at the FIBO show, EuropeActive, visiting with colleagues, and I think this is my 6th time in Europe for that event. Fascinating to be there again. And we're on the train back, so again, pardon the background noise, but wanted to get this in. And with me, I have a dear friend, a colleague who's been working with us for 8 years, Jessie Ehren. It's her first time being at FIBO and at EuropeActive in Cologne, first time in Europe. And given that Jessie's been in the fitness industry for quite a while and has a number of perspectives in her various roles in Moon Mission Media at the Fitness Industry Technology Council, where she serves as executive director, as well as her training coordinating position for Vertimax. Jessie worked in the Les Mills world, group fitness. She's a certified personal trainer. She has a great deal of experience. And so I wanted to get a few minutes of thoughts from her as you hear this noise in the background, Jessie, as to what her experience was like in Europe. Jessie, thanks for taking a few minutes. I know you're not comfortable with talking with me like this, but I'm glad you took the time to do it.
No, I appreciate being on this side of the interview. Usually I'm the one that's uploading the audio and creating a little image that looks pretty for social media. So it's pretty exciting to be interviewing this time.
You mean being the interviewee?
Yes.
So Jessie, you got to come here. I think we arrived on Monday or so we got here a day early so you could look around a little bit and get adjusted. Can you, what is your initial viewpoint of having come to Europe to meet these fitness professionals? What did you find that was different, that surprised you, if there was anything?
What really surprised me, I think I said this about halfway through the first day, was I was extremely surprised at how humble some of the big players were. I had an opportunity to meet some great CEOs, and the fact that they took time to sit and discuss with us what's going on with the industry, what their goals are for the convention. I felt very honored to be in their presence and be able to pick their brain, whether it was for 2 minutes or maybe 10 minutes. So that was pretty shocking to me, having the opportunity to talk to, Dave Wright at My Zone, some of the keynote speakers at EuropeActive. And it was great. It was great. Something you don't usually get to have as a personal experience. So.
Yeah, you did have the chance to meet a lot of people. I know we went to a number of events, and there was that kind of exposure. Did you, with your background being diverse as a trainer, and then you working in technology, and then with the Vertimax product that you're overseeing training on, I know, this isn't just about Europe. We had people from the Middle East, we had people from America, the United States, Russia, all over Asia, etc.
Yeah. I think there was 39 countries that were represented in day one of EuropeActive. So that was one room, 39 countries, 400 people representing the world. Had that note down. And
so the size of it, you've been to a few other shows. Tell us about that.
The size of the complete craziness. Been to Ursa, been to some other conventions, and let's just say, I don't know if you can really imagine, everybody says how much bigger FIBO is, but until you walk through those halls and through the hallways that are leading into each different subcategory, I sat back, I took video, and I felt like I was a little ant in the ant farm. It was great though. The energy's high. It's a consistent flow of traffic. The conversations are moving. There wasn't a time to sit back and be like, it's slow, it's lunch hour. Not 1 minute was like that.
So true. And, Ursa is a great experience. Every one of these industry events had their own kind of unique aspects. And we love the Earth's organization and what they've done with their show, which in San Diego this past year that you were at. And then again, we get to go next year, which is awesome. That's going to be in San Diego again. But given this, you were there when EuropeActive released a new book on human capital, which I got to contribute to again this year. Thank you to the group there. Tell us, you've been working with the team in the initial days of FitMark. It's been 8 years, right?
Yeah, 8 years this year. So when they released the topic of being human capital, I sat back and tried to understand, how did that relate to my own personal experience? And when they actually said what the description was, it's the talent and skills to operate, and relating that to my personal experience with you, Robert Dyer, Maureen, as my mentors and leaders, I knew that related to me. I value the experience I've had. I know you value my skill sets, and so do the Dyers, and they've just provided the best experiences. So that topic really set home. It was perfect. It was a perfect first year.
Oh, thanks. And check that book out, everybody. In respect to that, I've always told you the value of travel because you have an industry view, right? You've been in the industry a long time. What would you tell the listeners about how important it is to get out there in the world and see what's going on when you may not realize what you don't know?
Yeah, I think it's the old school saying, you don't understand until you put yourself in their shoes. And I don't think you quite understand until you can sit back and speak to them, to other cultures, to other people wherever they're from, and being in essence that maybe you're not comfortable in. Getting outside of the country and being in somebody else's home turf, you just, again, you humble yourself in that experience. So I think it's necessary. I think you have a much better understanding of different markets. What are their weaknesses? What are their strengths? And within 24 hours of being at EuropeActive, I could sit back and say, what are we doing that maybe is more advanced in the U.S., or where can we sit back and learn from what they're doing over here to apply in our settings? So I think it's extremely important. If you get the experience, don't say no.
I agree. And, of course, Jessie is the Executive Director of the Fitness Industry Technology Council. She got to meet with a lot of fitness tech leaders during the time there. She, of course, works with the Moon Mission Group on digital marketing for our Gold's Gyms in Houston. Shout out to Brian and Christy Murphy, our partners and friends there in Houston, a chain of clubs there. And she works with other brands, including the Vertimax brand, and does a great job with Vertimax on training and education. You got to meet a lot of the distributors now and with that product. So, knowing you for 8 years, I'm just so delighted I got to experience your first time here through your eyes, because that really makes me happy. And I appreciate you going through the uncomfortable position of being on this train with me asking these questions. Any final comments?
This was my gratitude to say I had a personal tour guide for the last 4 days. So it's been unbelievable. My last comment really is just a quote that we got on that first day, and it sunk home. I'd like for people to have to hear it and write it down or live by it. And it's from Zig Ziglar. You don't build a business, you build people, and then the people build your business. So I really, really like that one.
Thanks for all you do, Jessie. Thanks for going through this painful and torturous experience with me on this train. I hope you make it.
I should have videotaped my facial expressions behind the mic.
Yeah, check out my stories for her goats. For those that know, Jessie loves goats and all animals. But no, awesome. I hope to do another recording with you in a few years at another location, maybe in Asia and other places, maybe Australia next time. Thanks for all you're doing, and thanks for your perspective.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian.
Hi, this is Brian O'Rourke again from a train, the ICE train, going from Cologne to Frankfurt. And we had a great chat with Jessie, her first time to FIBO and into Germany in EuropeActive's event. And now I had the pleasure of also being accompanied by Al Marez, who's the Chief Operating Officer of Vertimax, which is a pretty unique product and a unique training modality. And he made his first trip to FIBO. Al, we're on this train. I know you feel a little weird and tired being on a train with these questions, but I appreciate you making a few minutes to share your perspective.
Well, I appreciate it, Brian. Look forward to speaking here for a little bit, and hopefully everybody can hear what we're saying in and out of these tunnels as we travel across Germany.
The sound engineers are cursing us, but we love those guys. So shout out to the sound engineers. God bless you. My friend Buzzy and his crew. So Al, first off, a minute about Vertimax. We've been involved in Vertimax for a year, so you're doing great work at Vertimax. The team's doing great work. You got to bring the product to FIBO. How long have you been working with Vertimax now?
So I'm going on my 9th year at Vertimax. It's been a pretty exciting ride so far. Sometimes a little interesting, but definitely exciting. And the last year working with you guys has been great.
What was wild is, FIBO first, it's huge, right? And the number of people that knew Vertimax just astonished me from all over the world.
It was eye-opening, really, just to be walking down the halls and have people stop me because they saw my Vertimax shirts from Jordan or Kuwait or the UK. Had no idea really we had that reach, but it's exciting that word's getting out there and people are popping up all over the place with the familiar name of Vertimax.
And so, you and Jessie were busy. I would pop in every now and then. You were doing all the heavy lifting. My God, I don't think you got to take a breath at times for hours. And don't you love this tunnel? Wow. The sound engineers really love us right now. But tell us a little bit, and then we're going to get back into being in Europe and the whole fitness thing. But tell us a little bit about it. We have a Raptor product, a platform product. I know we've launched education. You've been great about working with distributors. Can you give the listeners just a quick kind of recap of what the Vertimax product is and what they need, what they can hear about it to learn about it?
Sure. So real quickly, Vertimax has been around going on our 30th year now. Primarily, we were born and raised in the sports world, helping athletes run faster, jump higher. But over the years, we've added some technology to the platform, made it more functional training, sports-specific training. So we're branching out into a bunch of different vertical markets. Over the past couple of years, we were able to come up with a portable version of that platform speed training system called the Raptor, as you mentioned. And now it's can be attached to fences, racks, walls, has a lot of different applications. And now definitely in the fitness market, the general fitness world, there's some applications that is very fitting. So that's why we're out at these type of conventions.
Yeah, and before we move on from that, of course, some of the biggest names in sports around the world use the product, right?
Yeah, some of our biggest fans are, you may have recognized the name LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Aaron Rodgers, just about a lot of the well-known athletes around the world use it at their sports performance trainers or with their teams.
Yeah, so keep a lookout for Vertimax. Now, on to Europe, because I know you hadn't been to the FIBO show before. I know you've been to a lot of events, and they all are unique and great, right? ACSM's events, you go to so many events. What was your impression about Europeans, and not only Europeans? You had people from the Middle East, you had people from Asia, all over the world, the United States, of course, as well at FIBO. But what was some of your impressions? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is just eye-opening and shocking the sheer volume of people that are here and how big this convention is. You almost can't even compare it to URSA, the ABC convention, or any of the ones in the States, because there's 8 or 10 halls here full of people, full of vendors, where in the States you have 1 or 2 different rooms. So it's 5-7 times bigger than that. So, but to come here to see the innovation that's happening overseas, you almost have to come to see it in person to see all the different areas where the people are making just huge strides in the innovation.
It's amazing, because there's some things about the U.S. market and other markets, as we talked about, that are, not more of it, they're different, right? And you think and then you come here and you see this whole other world, and there's a whole other view. And of course, FIBO being a broader spectrum in certain ways. URSA is still a fantastic show, just different flavors, but it is truly eye-opening, isn't it?
Well, it's coming from the States, you think that that's all there is. And a lot of you think the innovation comes from the United States, but that's not necessarily the case. There's so much happening around the world that getting out and seeing it firsthand is pretty impressive.
What was, putting you on the spot here, what was the coolest thing that you or thought or event or thing that happened while you were there? If it's not, anything that came to your mind that stood out, let's say this. Was it the beer, them forcing the beers in your face, or was it the river? The weather was beautiful. I'm putting you on the spot, but is there anything that comes to mind?
Well, definitely the beer, since you mentioned it, was awesome. And how they continue to fill your glass up before it's even empty. So that was impressive. But yeah, just getting there, it's kind of crazy to see how many ways a treadmill can be changed and tweaked, or a bike can be changed and tweaked, and what can be added to it over the years. But yeah, just getting around the key players, seeing what they're doing, getting out to some of the smaller booths to see how different they are, and those will be the big boots hopefully someday, and just being around both ends of it is pretty cool.
Well, listen, so Al, you're a superstar. The team of Vertimax superstar. We believe in your team, and it's so awesome to be here with you the last few days, particularly in this train with the sound engineers loving us. But how do people find out about the Vertimax product?
Well, you can find us at www.vertimax.com. Or hashtag @Vertimax everywhere, and then opening up some cool new vertical channels as well recently, where we're at Vertimax football, we're at Vertimax basketball, so we're all over the internet thanks to some awesome people helping us with our social media.
Well, man, let me tell you, much love to you. Wonderful to spend time with you in Germany, and sorry you had to drink so much beer. And safe travels home.
Appreciate it, Brian.
Hi, everyone. This is Brian O'Rourke again. Thanks for listening to the podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it. The podcast is brought to you by the Fitness Industry Technology Council, as well as my company, Videri Ventures, Moon Mission Media, and others. We hope you enjoyed the content. Please feel free to share it, and join us again soon when we bring to you another leader in the fitness space talking about technology and what it means to our industry. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again very soon.